So when it comes to hedging, I've mentioned that in my mind, there's broadly two main buckets or categories. One of them is proactive hedging, and proactive hedging is hedging that gets put on at trade initiation. Okay, because you simply don't know when the black swan event is going to occur. By definition, it's a black swan. If we knew when it was going to come, it's not a black swan event. So that level of protection happens at trade initiation, and you can think of that as your protection or your safety net that gets put on at the start of the trade. Okay, it's just something you always do. Having said that, you don't want to dismiss tools that can potentially be useful to you after the fact that may tell you, hey, the market's not looking that great right now. And we've got various tools to do that. And again, fully mechanical, not discretionary in any way. Okay. The analogy there is kind of like, flying a plane. So if you were flying a plane in, the First or Second World War, you're just flying largely just by looking out the window. One of those kind of planes that had the two-level wings and all that kind of stuff. You just joystick and looking out the window and you're good to go. Maybe you got a speedometer or something like that, but not much more. These days, you can literally fly a plane from Los Angeles to New York with the entire windows blacked out from start to finish. Everything is electronic. Everything is using, all these digital readouts and what have you. And pilots are trained to be able to do that, to be able to fly a plane without being able to look out the window. So that is the analogy here. We want to be able to look at an instrument panel, and if the instrument panel tells us, "Hey, you're about to crash into the side of a mountain," maybe you should pull up, right? And that's what we do. So there's multiple reactive hedges that we take advantage of after the fact if we get a specific event type that comes up that tells us, "Hey, when we've seen this type of thing in the past, it can potentially mean ugliness is ahead, so let's adjust, right? And let's protect." So here's an example of the kind of thing that we were talking about before. This is just like a standard Bracken wing fly type structure. This is a variant of the trade. It's actually something we call the 488. We have terrible naming, by the way. But anyway, this is a variant where the hedging component is actually in the same expiration as the trade, whereas the STT, by design, is the income portion and the hedging are in different expirations in order to primarily take advantage of weighted vega and also a couple of other factors over there that, in my opinion, there's an edge to doing that kind of concept. Whereas this one over here is just a variant of that for people that just want a simpler model where the hedging and the trade are in the same expiration. But the main point is that if this is what your tier 0 line looks like over here, and this is the worst circle droop level from your 0 line that you can see, when the market does come down significantly, you can see the market was here and it's now kind of coming down into the entry of that particular structure. You can see that by having that extra hedge over in this kind of area over here, that this is actually improving your T0, and your T0 is now coming up significantly, not down, which is what you'll see with kind of like the 112, right? So this is the proactive hedge concept that we talked about, and it's only one of multiple elements that we put into place in order to protect our trades.